Legend of Yufei, Chapter 56.
So let's set the scene for that. We find the Song camp, led by the famous Yufei, kind of stuck. Things are bad.
How bad?
Bad enough that they've put up the no challenge sign as Yufei. It's basically a signal of high stress, maybe exhaustion. They're saying, we need a timeout.
Wow, okay. That's a big deal for someone like Yufei. So they're vulnerable.
Extremely. And the Jin side immediately capitalizes. They bring in this new general, Ning. The text makes him sound terrifying.
More terrifying than who? They already had some heavy hitters.
Get this. Even fiercer than Wenlong, who was already a legend, and his weapon. It's described as this huge iron rod spear with a black fringe, bull-mouthed thick. It's like something out of myth, a very, very real physical threat.
Okay, so a monster on the battlefield shows up right when the Song are signaling weakness. What does he do?
He doesn't waste any time. He sees that sign, rides right up to the Song camp and starts mocking them. You know, why have the great Yu family forces put up this shameful sign, really pushing their buttons?
Oh, I bet that didn't go over well. Pride is everything.
Exactly. Two Song generals, Zhu King, who's a high-ranking commander, a Husher, and Jin Biao, they just lose it. They're furious. They beg Yufei, let us fight.
And Yufei lets them, even with the sign up.
He does. Maybe felt he had to restore morale, but it goes badly. Terribly, in fact.
How quickly? You mentioned Ning was overwhelming.
It's shocking. Zhu King charges out first. Ning takes him down with just one thrust. One. Knocks him clean off his horse. It's over before it really began.
One thrust. Against a commander. Yeah, that's...
Demoralizing doesn't even cover it.
Right. It's an execution. And then Jin Biao comes charging in, probably enraged seeing Zhu King fall. Ning pulls a feigned retreat, a classic tactic.
Nors him in.
Exactly. Jin Biao chases, maybe recklessly. Ning spins around, boom, spears him right in the heart.
Yeah.
Dead on the spot.
Oh, man. So two generals down, just like that. The Song forces must have just broken.
Completely routed, and Ning rides back to the Jin camp with both their heads. Talk about a statement.
I can't even imagine the mood in Yufei's camp. What does the source say about his reaction?
It's quite specific. It says Yufei heard the news and actually wept, and he immediately ordered burial preparations. For a general known for his toughness to weep, it shows the depth of the loss. It wasn't just tactical, it was psychological.
So the immediate threat is overwhelming. But did other Song generals try to step up? Surely they had other capable fighters.
They did, and that's what really confirms Ning's prowess. It wasn't a fluke. Zhang Xin steps up, fights him for over 40 bouts. It's a draw. Okay, so Zhang Xian could hold his own. That's something.
Yeah, but holding your own isn't winning. Then Yan Chengfeng, another top general who uses a hammer, he fights Ning. Same result. Over 40 bouts, another draw?
40 bouts is a serious fight. So skilled Song generals can match him, but nobody can actually beat him.
Precisely. They can match his skill, maybe tire him out eventually, but they can't land that decisive blow. And that parity, that inability to win, is almost as bad as losing quickly. It just drains resources and hope.
So the stalemate basically means Ning still controls the situation.
Absolutely. And that's why Yufei is forced to hang the no challenge sign back up. The text says he was left in deep worry plan. The entire Song war machine is grinding to a halt because of this one guy.
Okay, so brute force isn't working. Direct challenges fail. Stalemate. This sets the stage perfectly for a different approach. Who comes up with the plan B?
This is where the story shifts gears really beautifully. It moves from the battlefield to strategic intelligence. And the architect is a man named Wang Zuo, his nickname. Bitter Man too.
Bitter Man. Why that nickname? And who does he target? Not Ning, right?
No, interestingly, he zeroes in on the other big Jin general we mentioned, Wenlong. As for the nickname, well, Wang Zuo earned it through incredible sacrifice. Earlier, he deliberately cut off his own arm to convincingly infiltrate the Jin camp.
He cut off his own arm. Okay, that's commitment. So he's already deep undercover in the Jin camp.
Yes, he's gained their trust over time because of that act. He approaches Wenlong and insists on total privacy. Tells him he has a superb story that only the Prince Wenlong can hear. Sends all the attendants away.
Very dramatic. What's the bombshell he drops in this private meeting? What's the superb story?
It starts with an object, a painting. He shows it to Wenlong.
And Wenlong recognizes something.
Instantly. He sees figures that look remarkably like Wu Zu.
Ah, okay. So Wang Zuo uses this painting to unlock the past. What's the actual story he tells?
He lays out the history. The painting shows Wenlong's real father, General Liu Deng, a Song Jidushi, and his mother, Lady Shi. They were from Luwen Prefecture.
And what happened to them?
They died defending that prefecture against the Jin invasion, led by Wuzhu about 13 years earlier. Died in loyalty to the Songsa.
Wuzhu? Wait, isn't that the Jin commander who raised Lu Wenlong?
Bingo! That's the devastating twist. Wuzhu, the man who attacked Luan, killed Lu Ding and Lady Shi, then found the infant Lu Wenlong, took him, and raised him as his own son.
Oh my God. So Lu Wenlong has been calling his parents' murderer father for 13 years.
13 years. Raised in the enemy camp, fighting for the man who destroyed his family. Wang Zuo basically weaponizes filial piety against the false narrative Lu Wenlong has lived his entire life.
How does Lu Wenlong even process that? Does he believe it right away?
The text says he recognizes the truth in Wang Zuo's words immediately, saying something like, "You are clearly speaking about me." But the final, undeniable confirmation comes from someone else. An old nurse who had apparently been with the family, and she comes out weeping and confirms every single detail Wang Zuo said. It validates the story. And, importantly, it validates Wang Zuo's horrific sacrifice. Cutting off his arm wasn't for nothing.
That's shattering. What's Lu Wenlong's immediate reaction? Finding out your whole life is based on a lie and your father is your enemy.
Pure rage. Understandably. He wants to draw his sword right then and there and kill Wuzhu. Immediate violent revenge.
And Wang Zuo stops him.
Yes. Wang Zuo, the strategist, steps in. He tells him, "Don't act rashly." Killing Wuzhu now, out of personal anger, doesn't help the larger cause. The smart move, the strategic move, is to defect to the Song first, earn merit, and then deal with Wuzhu. Make his return count for something bigger.
Right. Turn personal tragedy into strategic advantage for the Song. Okay, so Lu Wenlong is convinced he's mentally flipped sides. But they still have the massive problem of Cao Ning out there, the guy who's got Yu Fei pinned down.
Exactly. The job's only half done. Wang Zuo persuades Lu Wenlong to help with the next step. Invite Cao Ning over to Lu Wenlong's tent.
Okay, but they can't use the same playbook, right? Cao Ning wasn't captured as a baby. His family history is different.
Right. Wang Zuo knows this. He needs a different angle. He can't just drop a bombshell painting. So he uses allegory. It's really quite brilliant psychology.
Allegory? Like what?
He tells Cao Ning two stories. One is about the southern bird returning south. Oh, sure. The other is about the swift horse yearning for the northing.
So stories about animals instinctively knowing where they belong, remembering their origins or masters.
Precisely. It's a subtle way to bring up the theme of innate loyalty and belonging without making a direct accusation. He's testing the waters, seeing how Cao Ning reacts to the idea of fundamental loyalty.
And how does Cao Ning take it? Does he get the hint?
He gets it immediately. He basically says, well, if even birds and horses feel this pull towards their home or master, how can humans be any less loyal to their roots? He walks right into it, morally speaking.
Okay, so he acknowledges the principle. That opens the door for Wang Zuo to get specific about Cao Ning's roots.
Exactly. Wang Zuo then reveals Cao Ning's family history. He explains that Cao Ning's grandfather was originally Song. His father, Cao Rong, however, was persuaded by a known Song trader, Lu Yu, to surrender to the Jin forces.
Ah, so not captured, but persuaded to switch sides. And essentially lost his connection to his ancestors by serving the Jin.
Right. He became lost in a foreign land, as Wang Zuo puts it, abandoning his ancestral duty because his father made that choice. It's still a crisis of identity, just rooted in his father's decision rather than his own capture.
It's still powerful. You're serving an enemy because your father was convinced to betray your heritage. How does Lu Wenlong play into this?
Lu Wenlong provides the immediate personal confirmation. He tells Cao Ning, "Look what just happened to me. I just found out I was serving my own parents' killer." That shared experience, that fresh wound for Lu Wenlong, makes Wang Zuo's story about Cao Ning's father resonate powerfully.
Okay, so Cao Ning is convinced. He sees the parallel. He wants to switch sides too.
He does. He expresses the desire to defect, to return to his ancestral loyalty, but he has a very practical fear.
He's the guy who just killed Zhu Qing and Jin Biao and routed the Song army. He thinks Yu Fei won't trust him, right?
Exactly. He says, how can Yu Fei possibly accept me after what I've done? It's a huge legitimate concern. Who would trust the enemy general who is just decimating your troops?
So how do they overcome that final hurdle? Does Wang Zuo have another plan?
He's already thought of it. This is where Wang Zuo really shines as a planner. The moment Cao Ning voices this fear, Wang Zuo is ready. He immediately writes a letter.
A letter of introduction.
Essentially, yes. It's a letter for Cao Ning to carry directly to Yu Fei. It explains the whole situation. Lu Wenlong's conversion, Cao Ming's realization of his true heritage, Wang Zuo vouches for him. It connects Cao Ning's defection directly back to Wang Zuo's own sacrifice and established trust.
It's like a guarantee. It assures Yu Fei this isn't some kind of trick leveraging Wang Zuo's credibility. Brilliant.
It bridges that gap of trust perfectly. It turns a potential risk into a calculated strategic game.
So what happens? Does Cao Ning just ride over the next day?
Pretty much. He thinks it over during the night, makes his decision. The next morning, he rides alone to the song camp, dismounts respectfully before the gate, and asks to see Marshal Yu Fei.
That must have caused some serious tension among the song guards seeing him show up asking for a meeting.
You can imagine, but he presents the letter. It gets taken to Yu Fei. Yu Fei reads it, understands the whole incredible sequence of events masterminded by Wang Zuo.
And Yu Fei's reaction. Is he suspicious, or does he see the genius play?
He sees the genius. The text says he's filled with joy. He immediately recognizes the success of Wang Zuo's dangerous mission, even saying something like, "My brother cut off his arm to surrender to Jin, and now he has achieved this marvelous feat." He gives Wang Zuo full credit.
And what about Cao Ning himself? Does Yu Fei hold the recent battles against him?
This is key. He doesn't. He shows remarkable strategic wisdom. He praises Cao Ning, calling him an upright and brave man, precisely because he chose not to abandon his ancestors once he learned the truth. He welcomes him fully.
Wow, that's smart leadership. Focus on the gain, not the past grievance. What's the immediate result?
Cao Ning is formally accepted, sworn into the Song army, and even given new Song armor. Fourth Prince Wuzu, formidable figure, and he is already furious because one of his key commanders, Cao Ning, has just defected to the Song side. That's a major blow, losing intelligence, losing manpower.
Yeah, big deal. And right into this volatile moment walks Cao Rong, who is Cao Ning's father. Now, Cao Rong holds the title Zhao Wang, which is like a princely rank, showing he's high status among these defectors. He arrives late with a crucial grain shipment, and his excuse, heavy rain.
Wuzu, he sees the son's defection and the father's delay, and for him, it's immediate evidence of collusion, father and son conspiring. He orders Cao Rong bound, instantly. In the Jin world, under Wuzu, this is treason, a capital offense.
And this is where you really see the absolute, almost transactional nature of loyalty under Wuzu, isn't it? Cao Rong is fighting for his life. He desperately denies knowing anything about his son's betrayal, but just denying it, that's not going to cut it. He offers the most devastating proposition you could imagine.
Yeah, to save his own skin, basically. Cao Rong offers to personally lead troops, hunt down his own rebellious son, the term used is Nizi, and capture him for public punishment. It's just raw self-preservation. It forces him to become, essentially, his son's executioner.
Wow. So he sacrifices his son, his own paternal duty, just to keep his position, his title. And Wuzu accepts.
He does. It achieves two things for Wuzu, right? It punishes the traitor, Cao Ning, and it validates Cao Rong's renewed loyalty, however desperate it looks. So he's released, sent off to carry out this terrible task.
Okay, so the scene shifts. Now we're with the Song forces and their commander, Marshal Yu Fei. When Cao Rong demands his son meet him outside the camp, Yu Fei actually sees a diplomatic opening here. Not a fight.
Exactly. Yu Fei is thinking redemption, not revenge. He tells Cao Ning, go out, yes, but don't fight him. Convince your father to return to the righteous path. He even promises full honors, forgiveness from the Song court if Cao Rong defects back.
But that path, that chance for redemption, just slams shut immediately. Cao Rong sees his son in a Song uniform, enemy colors, and he's instantly enraged, demands Cao Ning dismount, surrender, face justice.
Right, and this is where the whole confrontation pivots. It becomes this intense intellectual and moral debate. Cao Ning refuses, flat out. And he throws his father's own treachery right back in his face. He starts listing these famous, incredibly loyal Song figures, Lu Dang, Zhang Shui, Li Rushui, Yu Fei himself, Han Shizong. And he basically asks his father, why did you choose betrayal? Why not loyalty like them?
And this really gets to the core ethical conflict of the whole era, doesn't it? This idea of filial piety, shao, absolute obedience, absolute respect for your parents.
But Cao Ning is arguing that duty to the state, to the dynasty, actually trumps even that, especially when, the father is a proven traitor. It's a radical stance.
He really hammers it home with facts, too. Accuses Cao Rong of ceding the Yellow River, basically saying he abandoned the two captured Song emperors.
Yeah.
And he uses that devastating metaphor, doesn't he? Saying the emperors are sitting in a well observing the sky. Or Shengzhou Jingguan Tian.
Yeah, that phrase, it's so powerful. It means utter hopelessness. They're trapped. They can only see this tiny patch of sky, totally powerless. And Cao Ning judges his father's treachery as so profound, he calls him. Well, no better than a beast. Qin Shou.
And that insult, that absolute rejection of the father by the son, that's the trigger. Cao Rong just snaps, attacks with this knife, pure fury. Cao Ning, caught between self-defense and this righteous anger, he drives his long spear forward.
And kills his father, instantly. One blow.
So Cao Ning goes back to the Song camp. He must be expecting, I don't know, a hero's welcome. He chose the state. He eliminated a key traitor.
Right, you'd think so. Gaining a skilled commander who just proved his loyalty in the most extreme way possible seems like a win. But Marshal Yufei's immediate reaction, it's shock. Absolute condemnation.
He's aghast. He says he can't keep a man who's committed the gravest possible violation of the moral code.
The term they use is Ren Lin de Bien. It means a great change, like an inversion of fundamental human relationships. In the Confucian framework that really underpins the Song dynasty, there's just no principle of a son killing his father, period. For Yufei, military need, tactical advantage, it just cannot outweigh moral law. Keeping counting. It would instantly poison the moral legitimacy of his entire cause, his whole army.
Wow, that distinction, legitimacy over immediate gain, that's a brutal lesson for Cao Ning.
Absolutely. He realizes the sheer gravity of what he's done. This great reversal and impiety, Dani Bushao. The sources say he collapses, cries out. He regrets not meeting the marshal earlier, maybe for, moral guidance. He asks, how can I face the world? Draws his own knife and commits suicide. Right there, C1
Such a tragic end and the aftermath.
Handled with, cold formality. Cao Ning's head is displayed for a day before burial. It emphasizes the shame of the act, even if the motive behind it was loyalty to the song. Cao Rong's head, meanwhile, is sent to the capital, Linen, labeled as a confirmed traitor.
Okay, now this is the crucial pivot point in our deep dive.
Yeah.
Right. Wuzu, the Jin prince, gets the news. Here's the whole story. He first checks, confirms Cao Ning acted alone, independently of his father, but when he hears that Yufei actually sacrificed his skilled general, displayed the defector's head, all to uphold a moral principle, Wuzu is genuinely impressed.
Yeah, he declares this is a true marshal, Mingbu Xuan. His reputation is deserved, though. And strategically, that statement is immense. Wuzu sees Yufei prioritizes moral order, discipline Lun Lei above pure tactical gain. He realizes, okay, a general who won't compromise on fundamental human ethics, he's certainly not going to compromise easily on the battlefield. Wuzu acknowledges right then that conquering a general with such clarity, such conviction, it makes the whole Jin campaign difficult. Shifei's Yuzai. It's going to be a real struggle. So paradoxically, the immediate loss of Cao Ning, which seems like a blow, actually becomes this long-term strategic validation of Yufei's leadership. It's a moral victory that signals incredible military strength and resolve.
Exactly. Wuzu got the message loud and clear. His usual approach may be relying on trickery, defections, exploiting weaknesses that wasn't going to work against a commander like Yufei, who seemed morally bulletproof. And this realization, it forced an immediate, drastic strategic shift from Wuzu.
Okay, so if the moral stakes were proven to be that high, how did Wuzu translate this new respect, this challenge, onto the actual tactical battlefield?
Well, knowing he couldn't rely on standard maneuvers or psychological games against Yufei anymore, Wuzu immediately deployed his secret weapon, his ace in the hole. This marks a major escalation, moving from, say, political or moral warfare to raw technical brute force.
Okay, so he summons these two generals, Wanmu Tuochi and Wanmu Tuze, and they command the infamous Lian Huanjing and the chain-armored cavalry. The sources say this wasn't just some unit they threw together. They spent years perfecting this technique.
Yeah, and the sources give us these pretty vivid images of the commanders themselves. Wanmu Tuochi, 8 feet tall, built like a tank, likened to historical titans. His partner, Wanmu Tuoze, described like a fierce god, wears this crazy helmet, black armor, pockmarked face, wielding a massive iron dang. That's a heavy, specialized polearm, basically designed for crushing armor. But honestly, the real menace isn't just the general's imposing figures, it's the technology of the cavalry itself.
Right, we need to unpack that. What makes the chain-armored cavalry a secret weapon? What were they actually doing?
Okay, get this. The technical detail is what matters. These weren't just heavily armored horsemen. Their horses were literally chained together, side by side, usually in groups of 3 or 5. They advanced as this single, unified, impenetrable block of metal and horseflesh.
Wow. chained together.
Yeah, and this did two key things militarily. First, it physically prevented the cavalry line from being broken or flanked by standard infantry tactics. You couldn't easily isolate one part of the unit. Second, it created this overwhelming psychological and physical wall. Imagine this armored machine charging at you as one single entity. They couldn't break rank because they were chained, and theoretically they couldn't be broken by the enemy's charge either.
That sounds absolutely terrifyingly effective, especially if you're like a Song infantryman used to more standard maneuvers. This is pure shock and awe. Destructive innovation designed specifically to beat disciplined forces like Yufei's.
It was meant to replace subtle tactics with just sheer overwhelming force, crush resistance. And against this brand new menace, Yufei sends out 5 of his own generals. Led by Dong Xian, who's described as having great courage, along with Tao Jin, Jia Jun, Wang Xin, and Wang Yi, they have 5,000 troops.
So the battle starts. Dong Guian takes on Wanmu Tuqi initially, but when the Jin general seems to falter a bit, his partner, Wanmu Tuozi, jumps in. Suddenly, it's this desperate 5-against-2 brawl. The source actually describes it like a carousel, a Zuma Ding, just chaotic, swirling combat against these two giants.
But the Jin generals, they quickly realized they're probably overmatched fighting 5 skilled commanders head-on like this. But this is actually part of their plan. It's a trap. They execute this tactical retreat, shouting back that they have a treasure Bao Bei to show the song.
The classic lure. And Dongshan, despite his courage, maybe becavalid, acts recklessly. He pursues them deeper into the field. And this is the exact moment the source material warns us about, right? The consequence of that impatience, that maybe overconfidence. Because of this pursuit, those 5 generals and thousands of Song troops are about to die tragically.